Hello, my name is Dylan Gallant, and this is my solution to coding problem set 4, the word game. I did the majority of this project prior to receiving this bonus starter code for Google Colab. So I used the original version, which is a little bit different, but should still run just fine. I did this by using Visual Studio Code to do the majority of my coding, and then implementing everything into Google Colab at the end. So the first thing that we had to do was we had to go in here and get the word score. So how I did this is we were given the word and n, which is the number of letters that the player starts with. So we start with a total of 0. For every letter in the word, we create a number which searches through Scrabble letter values, which is an array of letters associated with point value numbers. We get whichever letter. Using whatever letter, we get the number associated to it, and that goes into our outnum. And then our total, we just add the number that we just found. And then we do that for every single letter in the word. Then, after that's done, we take the total and we multiply it by however long the word is. If the length of the word is equal to n, which means that they used every single letter in the word, then we add 50 to their score, and we return the total. We had to read through these two to do the next problem, which is to update the hands. We are given the hand and the word that we were just using. I started this one by creating a copy of the hand right here called hand copy. And then for every letter in the word, we go into hand copy, we find the letter, and we subtract 1 from it. So this starts out with a list of letters associated with numbers, the numbers being how many of those letters are in the word. If it's the word book, it would say B1, O2, and K1. It would go in, for every single letter, it would subtract 1, and make sure that those are all adjusted. Next we have to do is word valid. Once again, we create a copy of the hand for every letter in the word. If the letter is not in the hand copy, or the hand copy letter is 0, so if the letter does not appear in our hand at all for the letter, whatever letter is in the word that we're trying to type, or it is in there but it's set to 0, which means we no longer have it, we return false, which means the word is not valid. Else, if it is, we're going to just go in and start subtracting those letters. Now, the reason we do this is, for example, if we have the word book and someone puts in B-O-O-K and they only have one O in their hand, we could go in and say, oh, we remove the O. We find that there is no more O. We come back in and it looks again and there's still no more O. So that word would not be valid. If we have every single letter in our hand, but the word is not in the word list, it returns false. And if all else, it will return true. The next thing we have to do is to calculate the hand length. How I did this is by creating a count which starts at 0, and then for every letter in the hand, if the letter is greater than 0, we're going to add to the count the hand, looking at the hand and whatever number is attached to the letter. The reason we do this is so, once again, looking at the example book, it would find the letter B and it would say, oh, it has more than 0, it has 1, it would add 1 to that letter. If we had O, it would look more than 0, and then it would add 2, rather than having to go through. All right, and then it returns the count. Next is playing the hand. Now, we did this one comment by comment. I did add this little print of section of V's just to display whenever the game is playing when the turns start. I just made it a little bit easier to see. So first we had to keep track of the total score by creating a total score and set it to 0. As long as there's still letters left in the hand, which is a while loop, using the calculate hand length of our hand, as long as that is more than 0. We need to display the hand using the display hand feature. We need to ask for an input. We do print. Please enter a word from your letters or a dot to pass. And then we create a test word right here, which is the input, making sure that's all lowercase. And then if the test word is just the dot, like that, we end by breaking the game. Otherwise, which is just an else, if the word is not valid, if is valid word using the test word, hand, and word list is equal to false. Print, this is not a valid word, and we just add another little print here, just to add another, print, followed by a blank line. Otherwise, once again, an else, tell the user how many points the word earned and update the total score. So score is equal to get word score, plug in the word and the hand size. We then add our score to the total score. We then print the score and the new total score, followed by a blank line, and update the hand using the update hand feature. Once again, print your total score once everything is done, and we print the V's just to separate the game whenever we're playing. The final section we're going to talk about is the play game, which all we are given is the word list. So we have to allow the user to play an arbitrary number of hands, ask the user for an input, N being a new random hand, R being to replay the last hand, and E to exit the game. Anything else, it will simply say it's invalid and ask again. And then once we're done, repeat. So I started by creating a last hand that is just equal to none, and then created a for loop that is going to or a while loop that's just going to keep running, because simply just while true. We start with our user input. They're looking for N, R, or E. If the user input is N, we're going to make the last hand our new hand. Then we're going to play that hand using the last hand and word list and the hand size. Else, if we are using R, so we're repeating, if the last hand is none, that means there is no last hand. We simply print that. You've not played a hand yet, please play a new hand first. Then we go back and ask the question again. If there is a last hand, we simply do else, play hand with the last hand, word list, and hand size. And then else if they say E, we just say thank you for playing and break. And then else, that means they did not input N, R, or E. We just say invalid input, please insert N, R, or E, and then the while loop goes back and asks the question again. So now we test the code. So first we do an N, gives us these letters. These are the V's to show where the turns are separating. We're just going to go ahead and say run, and then we'll say, I don't know if bleb is a word, let's see. Bleb was a word, beautiful. So I got a score of 41. Now I can replay that last hand, giving me the same letters. We're just going to do run again, and then we'll pass, and then we can get new letters. I can say ward, or no, we'll do duck, and then we'll do war. I got a score of 62, and then I'm just going to exit, and it simply says, thank you for playing, and the code exits perfectly. Thank you very much.